Hey y'all, now this is a follow-up video that I had promised to do in regards to the, what was it, Frankenstein's monster, Uchiha Madara, and Midori's reasonings. And that video will be down in the description below. It's quite a while, it's a long video, but it was a video that is a literary analysis, and it deals with freak of nature type characters. And I had mentioned, but I did not add in this part, and I'm kind of glad I didn't because the video was long enough. Okay, it was near 50 minutes, but just FYI. But in this video, I will do the 4 types of responses that people have to freak of nature type characters, such as Frankenstein's monster. Not Frankenstein, because Frankenstein actually refers to Victor Frankenstein. That's a common misconception. Frankenstein's monster never had a name in the novel, as well as I'm aware. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Okay. Uchiha Madara from the series Naruto. Okay. If you know the series Naruto, you know how much of a badass I do. And Madara. Uchiha Madara, enough said. I'm not even a fan of Naruto, but I just love great to legendary characters, and that dude certainly fits the mold. And also Midori, another great to. I mean, all 3 of those are great to legendary characters to say the least. I mean, Frankenstein's monster is an archetype of these type, but I mean, he's arguably the greatest character in the horror genre. Period. Okay. And as far as the Midori, dude, for the Toriko fans, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. For those who are not Toriko fans, you are missing out. Read the Toriko manga. Hungry Space. Enough said. Now, I mean, you look at the thumbnail. Look at that thumbnail. I eat everything. All is food. But I mean, that's during the battle with don't mean to be a spoiler, but the battle he had against his brother, adoptive brother, Ichiraya, President Ichiraya. But anyways, to this video, 4 reactions. Now, obviously, I've got to start. There are always 2 extremes, okay? And then there's 2 others, and we're gonna call this a video. This video's not gonna be too long. I know I say that on some, but it really is not. It's gonna be probably 5 or 7 minutes. Number 1, let's start with the far opposite. The people, the haters. Some people legitimately hate the freak of nature characters for whatever reason. There's multiple. I'll list off 5 that are just popping in my head. Number 1, they think they're too villainous, or for whatever means. And freak of nature characters aren't even generally villains. Okay, they're not villains. You could say, if they're justifiable villains, how are they villains? They're antagonists. Most often, they're antagonists to the protagonist. Okay, I know that in the case of Frankenstein's monster, Uchiha Madara, and Midori, that happens to be the case. Actually, Midori at this point isn't a direct antagonist to Toriko or the 4 Heavenly Kings. Stajin is the direct antagonist to Toriko. And the way the story's shifting, he's probably going to become an ally. I'm just saying. So that's an interesting concept in of itself. But they believe they're too villainous. Their acts are too villainous. They may have not so good means to an end, but it doesn't make them villainous. Number 2, they don't like their design, they're too ugly or something. Number 3, people think they're too OP, overpowered, or hacks. They have these abilities that are just make them ridiculously powerful. And they're freaks of nature. That's what they are. By nature, they're freaks. Number 4, people think their rationale is what we call it. They say emo. It doesn't make sense to them. They claim there's no, like, oh, there's perfect logic. Well, I wouldn't say perfect, but there's plenty of logic behind them, as I explained in the video about the reasonings. Okay, you have to take into consideration their background. Not only are they freaks of nature, freaks by nature, their society rejects them, so that kind of messes with the whole psyche. And number 5, they refuse to understand the literature, the literary magnificence of these characters. And if you don't understand the literary magnificence, you're looking straight for entertainment. And when you simply look for entertainment, you're going to get bored because these characters are just that beastly. Okay, you may be a fanboy and too much of the protagonist. Now, the second extreme, fanboys. Fanboys are on the side of agreements, but they make no sense. Okay, these are the kind of guys that spit no common logic. I'm not saying all now some fanboys will spit logic, but it does get annoying too much because this character. Madara is a beautiful example of that currently. Oh my goodness, the Madara fanboys. I support Madara, for example, but they talking all kinds of, they don't see any flaws in the character. And what makes it worse is there's these extreme fanboys called tards, and these guys, there's no talking to them. Guys are females. I know these fanboys, fangirls, they're hard enough, but the tards, they're on a whole nother level. And if you've ever dealt with them, you already know. Now, between these two extremes, because fanboys, look, I'm sorry, most people ain't trying to deal. I'm not trying to deal with fanboys. If you're a fanboy, I can kind of deal with, but you get annoying because you can't see the flaws a lot of times in the characters. Now, these kind of characters, fortunately, don't have that many flaws. They have plot holes. Now, how many plot holes and how many flaws they actually have is dependent on the story writing, on the story, which is why Madara has the problems that he has, because the story that Kishimoto has done. People don't want to admit that, but that's a whole nother topic for another day. Now, to the two groups in this in between, you have the critics and the supporters. This video is going to go a little bit longer than the 7 minutes, but oh well, it'll end very short. Guarantee that. Now, with the critics, these are people, they may or may not like the characters. It's questionable, but they may or may not harp on some of the flaws. They don't understand, a lot of time. I mean, they do have reason to question these characters. But here's the thing about it. They sometimes don't understand the literary significance of the characters, and that's the number one downfall. They've got 3 main downfalls, the critics do. They don't understand the literary significance which produced these characters. They are looking often only at the flaws of the characters and not the benefits. See, because with these characters, you have to look at both. They force you to look at both sides of the coin. If you don't look at both sides of the coin, it'll make you sound illogical and irrational. Yes, they have flaws, but you do not see the plenty of pros that these characters present. And number 3, their motivations are not always pure as to why they're criticizing. Because once again, I'm not saying all critics, like there's some honest critics, but I'm talking the bulk of them. Once again, why are you questioning this character so much? Why are you not questioning character A, B, C, D, and E? But then when you try to justify certain characters, it makes no sense. For example, I'll throw this out there, people who are criticizing Madara, Uchiha Madara, because they're Obito fanboys, makes no sense. Or because they're saying this and that. But the last time I checked, and then I'm going back and forth, but I'm like, look at, Obito literally had no logic. Well, people ask, how does Madara? Because Madara does have logic. Obito has no logic. And I've talked about that in other videos, okay? When you understand logic and reason, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, am I saying Madara's logic is perfect? No, because he's hypocritical. All these freaking nature characters tend to be hypocritical, as I pointed out in the previous video. But the thing is, they're a paradox. They're a paradox, and they're a production of once again, nature and their society produced them. So blame the society. The society is the real problem. Okay. And lastly, definitely not leastly, I fall in this category. I'm a supporter. Okay. And I'm not saying this is the best because I'm part of it, but listen to my reasoning. As a supporter, you clearly acknowledge the flaws that the character has. Pretty much every character has flaws. Now, if a character doesn't have flaws, that means that character is not human. Can I repeat that? If the character literally has no flaws, the character is not human. for two reasons. Literally, it's probably a god, like it's the god of the universal world, or the character is not relatable. And these freak of nature characters, as OP as overpowered, as hacks, as whatever it is they may be, as fantastic, literally in the sense of fantasy, as they may be, they're relatable. That's why people love them. That's why they're so memorable in our mind, because they're relatable. They have backstory. They're real. We can relate to being some of us. Can we relate to we're actually freaks? Okay, well, we reviewed as freaks when growing up, so we can vibe with these characters. They have that relation. We support them because they often enhance the story tenfold, if not more. They're enigmatic, okay? We don't totally understand their psychology and philosophy, and there's much more that can be said to why somebody would support this. The cons are so, the pros so far outweigh the cons. The cons are they're way under the pros that it's almost pointless to even focus upon them. Talk about them, sure, yeah, fine, but accept them and move on. That's my position as a supporter of the freaking nature characters. When it's BS, I'll call it out. But mostly these characters are great for the story, for the series, whatever, for the movie, the show, the book, the novel, whatever medium they have to be. Unexpected one to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts. Are you antagonistic towards freaking nature characters? Do you love them? Or you hate them? Are you a critic? Are you a supporter like me? Alright, y'all. Let me know. I love a good discussion. And till next time, peace.